this workshop is about messaging. How do we improve our messaging? You've worked as a communication director for governors and many leaders across, throughout your tenure in City Hall and beyond. What have you learned about how we message?
If you're putting out a message into the world and you haven't talked to the person that your program or your idea is going to be affecting, then you're missing the mark. When you're trying to message, say, like a service or a program series or resources, focus on the thing that you're going to be helping.
And you begin to realize that access to good jobs is a resource, like any other resource, like oil, like gold. What happens to valuable resources? They are hoarded. They are hoarded because you can derive value from selling access to that resource. If opportunity is a resource and it's being hoarded and sold to the highest bidder, we have a fundamental problem with the way our economy can advance, the way our society can function. And what ends up happening is that you end up with a situation with a bifurcated economy. Some people have access to the $160,000 to $200,000 degree that gets them in the door at the job that they want, and some people do not have that access.
If you look at New Mexico during the pandemic got federal dollars, and they said, you know what, here's an idea we're gonna pilot for longer than 6 months. It's going to be free childcare available to everybody. It was so popular that they had a ballot initiative where they passed funding for childcare, and it's free and available to everyone in New Mexico. If we just prioritized it from the federal level or even from the state level, we could transform a system and make having families accessible for everyone.
We've allowed this root problem to grow legs, and we haven't addressed the actual problem for decades. I just would love to get you into the conversation on that perspective.
This is especially pronounced in a city like Boston, the land of Harvard, BU, MIT, Northeastern, BC, blah, 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 blah. So you have people that are coming in from away, they go to our illustrious institutions, and then they work. And the people who are born and bred in Boston don't have access to those jobs. So you end up with two economies. The question is, what do we do about the fact that we have those two economies? Who is responsible for fixing it?
What is real money? What is real resource? Real resource is things that can be exchanged to help get something done and hopefully have a collaborative, synergistic effect that everybody's kind of rising with that time, right? And so when you look at this dollar thing, it becomes almost a noose around your neck if you're serving that versus this output that you want to have as a result. Somewhere in the middle of that is intentionality. I think what we do to ourselves is we take on the weight to think if we don't do it, it's not going to happen. And it's not true. It does mean that everyone has to play a part, even if it's a seemingly minute part. But in actuality, the number of people are getting incentivized by the same problem. And all you're doing is kind of like parallel walking with them to solutions. And everybody's walking within their own gift to get it done. I can't do what you do as well as you do it, and you may not be able to do all the things I do well. That's the money. That's the resource, right? When we tap into that, we can get anything done. There'll be no insolvable problem.